There's a 2,500-year-old secret hiding in plain sight. Most men stumble through life ignoring it, only discovering its power when decades have already slipped away. Sun Tzu didn't just write about winning wars. He wrote the blueprint for winning at life, and most men never see it coming. Why? The battle you're fighting right now might be the wrong one. Here's what nobody tells you about success. The hardest part isn't winning. It's knowing which battles deserve your energy in the first place. Sun Tzu taught that leaders must know when to fight and when not to fight. Sounds simple, right? But most men completely miss this. They burn years fighting battles that don't matter, chasing goals that aren't even theirs. Think about your own life for a second. How many arguments have you had that went absolutely nowhere? How many projects did you pour yourself into just to prove something to someone who doesn't even care? How many times have you said yes when you should have walked away? This isn't about effort. It's about direction, and most men get the direction dead wrong. Sun Tzu understood something profound about human nature: positioning yourself where you have the greatest advantage while avoiding areas where you are vulnerable. That's the secret. Not fighting harder, fighting smarter. But here's the problem: most men are raised to believe that walking away from a fight makes them weak. So they stay, they grind, they suffer, and they wonder why they're exhausted. But there's something deeper happening here. When you're fighting the wrong battles, you're not just wasting time, you're missing the real opportunities. Many males miss opportunities for growth by dismissing or failing to recognize wisdom that applies to business and relationships. While you're stuck in some pointless conflict at work, someone else is building what you could have built. While you're arguing with people who'll never change their minds, someone else is making moves. The most dangerous trap isn't losing, it's winning battles that don't matter. You can spend your whole life racking up meaningless victories and still end up empty. Because winning isn't about collecting trophies. It's about advancing towards something that actually matters to you. And here's where it gets really interesting. Victorious warriors win first and then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first and then seek to win. Read that again. The winners already know the outcome before they engage. They've calculated, they've prepared, they've positioned themselves for success. The losers? They jump in, hoping it'll work out. They react instead of respond. They fight first and figure it out later. Most men operate in reactive mode their entire lives. Someone challenges them, they respond. Someone offers them something, they take it. Someone questions them, they defend. But they never stop to ask the most important question: should I even be here? Is this battle worth my life force? Does this move me closer to who I want to become? Only the rarest men understand that sometimes the most powerful move is no move at all. Sometimes walking away is the ultimate power play. Sometimes saying no is the victory. And that's what Sun Tzu was really teaching. Not how to win every fight, but how to choose the fights worth winning. How knowing yourself becomes your most dangerous weapon, and why most men never do it. There's a line from Sun Tzu that should be carved into every man's mind: if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. But here's the brutal truth: most men don't know themselves at all. They know what they think they should want. They know what society told them to chase. But who they actually are, that's a mystery. Self-awareness isn't some soft, therapeutic concept. It's a weapon. Understanding your own nature, capabilities, and weaknesses proves invaluable in every aspect of life. When you genuinely understand your strengths, you can exploit them ruthlessly. When you're honest about your weaknesses, you can protect yourself from getting exposed. But most men never do this work. They just wing it, and they pay for it. Think about how many men take jobs they're not built for, enter relationships they're not ready for, start businesses they don't have the skills for, not because they're stupid, but because they never stop to ask, who am I really? What am I actually good at? What are my blind spots? Instead, they just charge forward, hoping momentum will carry them through. It doesn't. The scariest part? Your biggest enemy isn't your competitor. It's you, your impatience, your pride, your need to be right, your fear of looking weak. Men who internalize lessons about emotional intelligence earlier in adulthood are poised to become more versatile leaders and partners. But most men learn this in their 40s or 50s, after they've already destroyed opportunities, relationships, and their own health. Here's what's really going on. When you don't know yourself, you make decisions based on ego instead of strategy. You say things you don't mean because your pride got triggered. You commit to things you can't deliver because you don't want to admit your limitations. You avoid hard conversations because you're scared of the truth. And all of this creates chaos that could have been avoided. Sun Tzu built entire armies around this principle. Before any campaign, he would assess his own forces with brutal honesty. Not what he wished he had, what he actually had. And then he'd position accordingly. He never sent cavalry where he needed archers. He never attacked fortified positions when he could go around them. He played to his strengths and avoided his weaknesses. Simple, effective, deadly. But most men do the opposite. They try to be everything. They spread themselves thin trying to prove they can do it all. And they end up mediocre at everything instead of exceptional at a few things. Sun Tzu recommends avoiding spreading forces too thin, as that makes an army weaker throughout. The same applies to your life. When you try to master 10 things at once, you master nothing. And this is where most men fail. They confuse activity with progress. They confuse busyness with effectiveness. They think if they're constantly moving, they're winning. But winning isn't about motion. It's about precision. It's about knowing exactly where to apply pressure and where to hold back. The men who truly dominate their fields, they know themselves completely. They know exactly what they're exceptional at. They know exactly what they suck at. And they build their entire strategy around that knowledge. They don't waste time trying to fix their weaknesses. They double down on their strengths and hire people to cover their gaps. What happens when discipline becomes automatic, the silent force nobody talks about? Let's talk about something uncomfortable. Discipline beats talent when talent is undisciplined. You probably know someone who had all the potential in the world, but went nowhere. Maybe that person is you. Talent gets you noticed. Discipline gets you results. And most men never figure this out until they've wasted their best years. The truth is, high performance isn't about motivation. Motivation is a feeling. It comes and goes. Discipline is a system. It's the framework that keeps you moving when you don't feel like it. Discipline is the ability to commit to goals and follow a plan, even when enthusiasm diminishes. That's the difference between guys who talk about their dreams and guys who build them. But here's what makes this so powerful. Discipline isn't about willpower. It's about design. Creating favorable circumstances significantly enhances the likelihood of achieving personal and professional goals. You build your environment so that the right actions become inevitable. You remove friction from the things you need to do. You add friction to the things you need to avoid. Sun Tzu knew this. He didn't just train soldiers to be tough. He created systems where the right behaviors became automatic. Clear orders, consistent routines, immediate feedback. The key is consistency, starting with simple and achievable goals. He didn't demand perfection on day one. He demanded consistency, and consistency compounds into mastery. Most men make the mistake of trying to change everything at once. They want to transform their body, their career, their relationships, all in the same week. And they crash hard. Because transformation isn't an event. It's a process. Small actions repeated daily create massive results over time. But most men are too impatient to see it through. Think about it this way. A man who works out 20 minutes every single day will destroy someone who hits the gym for 3 hours once a week. Not because the effort is greater, but because the consistency builds momentum. It creates neural pathways. It becomes who you are, not just what you do. That's the power of discipline. It transforms identity. And there's something else most men miss. Discipline creates freedom. Sounds backwards, right? But think about it. When you have strong daily routines, you don't have to waste mental energy deciding what to do. You just execute. Discipline is the difference between success and chaos in modern life. The decisions are already made. The path is already clear. You just walk it. The men who achieve the most aren't the ones grinding 24/7. They're the ones who've built systems so efficient that high performance becomes their baseline. They've removed the drama. They've eliminated decision fatigue. They've automated excellence. If you've made it this far, you're already different from most people. Comment the word focus and tell me, what's one area of your life where you know you need more consistency right now? And if this resonates with you, hit that like button and subscribe. We're just getting started. What if everything changed the moment you learned to retreat strategically? Here's the lesson that changes everything. Those who know when to fight and when to wait triumph. This might be Sun Tzu's most powerful teaching, and it's the one most men completely ignore. Because we live in a culture that glorifies the grind, that celebrates the hustle, that tells you if you're not moving forward constantly, you're falling behind. But that's a trap. Recognizing the right moment to act or not act often separates victory from defeat. Sometimes the smartest move is to do nothing. Sometimes the bravest decision is to retreat. Sometimes walking away from an opportunity is what creates space for the right one. But most men can't see this. They think retreat equals weakness, so they stay in bad situations longer than they should. Let's be real for a second. How many times have you stayed in a job that was draining you? How many times have you kept a relationship going that was clearly done? How many times have you pushed forward with the project that wasn't working just because you'd already invested time in it? That's not persistence. That's stubbornness. And it's costing you everything. The ability to achieve victory by changing and adapting according to the adversary is called genius. G4. True strength isn't rigidity. It's flexibility. It's being able to pivot when the situation demands it. It's having the courage to admit when something isn't working and change course immediately. But ego gets in the way. Pride gets in the way. The fear of looking like a quitter gets in the way. Here's what Sun Tzu understood that most men don't. Retreating isn't giving up. It's repositioning. It's choosing better terrain for the next engagement. It's preserving your resources for a fight you can actually win. The masters of strategy don't win by fighting harder. They win by fighting smarter, by choosing when and where to engage with surgical precision. And this is where clarity becomes everything. If you don't know what you're actually trying to achieve, you'll fight every battle that comes your way. You'll say yes to everything. You'll exhaust yourself trying to be everywhere at once. But when you have absolute clarity on your goals, something magical happens. You start saying no to good opportunities so you can say yes to great ones. Before every decision, ask yourself, does this move me closer to my ultimate objective? If it doesn't, why are you even considering it? In personal life, you should make progress toward your goals as soon as possible without wasting resources. Stop wasting energy on distractions. Stop getting pulled into drama that doesn't serve you. Stop fighting battles just because someone challenged you. The most powerful men aren't the ones who win every fight. They're the ones who never have to fight at all. They position themselves so strategically that obstacles remove themselves. They build such strong foundations that threats don't even approach. They master themselves so completely that external chaos can't touch them. And that's the real secret Sun Tzu left behind. Victory isn't about defeating others. It's about mastering yourself. It's about having such complete control over your emotions, your reactions, your decisions, that nothing can knock you off course. That's the highest level of performance. That's what separates legends from everyone else. Most men figure this out when they're 50, when their health is gone, when their relationships are damaged, when their best opportunities have passed. The question is, are you going to be one of them? Or are you going to apply these principles right now? If you're ready to stop fighting the wrong battles and start winning the right ones, comment strategy. Tell me, what's one battle you need to walk away from right now? Smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Your journey to peak performance starts with one decision.